Hello and welcome back to Marineford TCG. It may not be Saturday, but I wanted to play some Shanks today. So here we are, PRB Shanks with the new PRB cards. Drink of the day, by the way, fittingly is more lime juice. I'm being taken over by lime juice. He's taking control of the channel, a hostile takeover. Anyway, so I built this build. I wanted to try out all of the new PRB cards. I think Roux, it's just a consistency piece. It's a nice little 2-of, replaces the 5-cost Rayleigh. Obviously searchable, nice that you can play it on curve. It's not locked behind what your opponent's doing, which is pretty cool. I do quite like this at 2. It's come up here and there. It's not a game changer though. Koby is neither a game changer, and before I get a million questions, I know this card is really expensive at the minute, especially in America. If you don't want to buy this, you don't need to. I would replace this with one more copy of the old Lucky Roux, one more copy of the Shanks, and then 2 copies of 5-cost Marco. That's what I personally go for, because this is sort of multifaceted, right? If you draw this on 4, it is like one of the best cards you can play on 4 for sure. Into Rayleigh, obviously this just destroys all their units. That's pretty good. They have so many 3000 base power units that you get the insane value out of this when attacking. Can be a little hard to defend him sometimes because we don't get the opponent's turn effect. So in this deck, he is just a 5k. But also into decks that play like chump blockers, maybe like a Bonnie. This Koby is good there too. This is definitely not mandatory. There is no way that this is going to be an automatic include in all builds of Shanks. But it is a nice little card nonetheless. Also, of course, playing the Law. I think the Law's actually really good. It combos just so nicely with Beckman and Rayleigh if you drop it on 6. And my main problem with this Law and the Koby is just the lack of searchability. And I know you can play the event in this one, highest point reached, but like this card sucks when you don't draw it early. If you draw this later on in the game, it's like, yes, you got the trigger, so if it comes out of life, that's cool. That's mad chill. But if you draw it later on in the game, it just feels dreadful, man. I'm probably going to have another build in a few days that does try and make use of this, but from the times that I've used this in the past, it just, like, it feels like the stage, right? When you draw it late, it's just kind of not epic. But who knows, it may end up being worth it just to search these cards like the Law and the Koby, because they are both very, very powerful. And they are, of course, not searchable off our 1-cost Uta. But like I say, into all sorts of decks, dropping this on 6 or 7 just leads up into a Beckman or a Rayleigh super nicely. If you're dealing with something like a deck that's trying to drop purple Katakuri or green Mihawk, I mean, it's perfect, right? You can debuff the Mihawk or the Katakuri. They can block straight away, but they're still going to give you a 2k. And then you can go with one of these removal options. And you don't even have to. Like, this card is just good on its own. The fact that you've got anti-removal baked in is lovely into blue decks that might want to, like, Jozu you. And also into black decks, of course. They love their removal. In terms of top end, I have gone for Rayleigh. I think it combos really nicely with the Law, so I'm trying them out at 4. You could probably go to 3, but I just want the consistency of seeing this card in most games, especially into decks like Rayleigh and Bonnie, where it's just really good. And they are some of the better decks this format. Oh, this guy's also really good into GP, because you can just put the -2 on the Spud, and you're attacking 7 on 5 straight away, which is just, it's a good number. It's hard for them to defend that. Still got 3 of the 9-cost Shanks. I just love this card. I know most control builds of Shanks usually have this slot filled by things like Building Snake or the 7-cost Newgate. I just love the option this card gives you to just go to 7. Sometimes that's just so good. And obviously when this becomes a 6-cost, it's an insane card. You can combine this with like the new Lucky Roux, even a Koby if you really wanted to. But just dropping this and a blocker for 10 Don, it's the best. And of course, 2-2 split of the top end. I think both of these are good. I'm leaning more towards Pop Shanks, I think, at the minute. So I'd maybe, if you wanted to add another copy of one of these in favour of one of these 9-cost Shanks, I'd probably add Pop Shanks before Rush Shanks. Because there's a lot of good things to remove at the minute, right? 10-cost Dophies. There's a few big mums around in Pudding. So if you can combine this with Law, which may well come up in one of these games, that's pretty nice. And of course, in like a Shanks mirror, you can deal with opposing Rayleighs, Shanks, things like that. The Pop Shanks is good. I wouldn't cut this because if you can establish this safely, you just kind of like win the game when this comes down. If your opponent can't remove it immediately with like a red rock. But there's a lot of times where you can't really afford to drop this. So that's why I'm only on 2. Finally, I've added one of the bad manners. We don't actually have that many bricks. This is 14, I believe. 3, 7, 10. Yeah, 14 bricks. Plus the DDs if you want to count those. But one bad manners, it's no bad thing, right? I did have a couple games where I was just bricking a little bit. So I've just stuck one bad manners in. And you might see a couple of different cards in some of these games. As ever, when I'm doing these videos, I do change the decks throughout the games. When I find, oh, I like this, I don't like this, I want more of this, I want less of this. So in some of the games, you might see like a 7-cost Newgate. I did cut those for an extra copy of Rayleigh and the bad manners. So that's it. Let me know, what do you think of the new PRB cards in Shanks? Which are you going to be playing? I think the Law and the Roux very likely to stay in. Koby, I don't know. I'm kind of enjoying him at the minute, but he hasn't come up that much because you do really have to draw this on 4 for you to have a good time to play this, 4 or 5. And he's obviously unsearchable, so that's a little bit tricky sometimes. Either way, thank you for listening to me talk about the deck. Here's some games with this current PRB build of Shanks. Got a game into Rayleigh, and he does take second, as expected. So Ben on curve is nice. I don't mind Shanks on 5, but I really would like either Roux or Koby in this matchup. So I'm going to mulligan. Okay, we don't get either, never mind. This hand is definitely worse. We gambled, and so far looks like we've lost that gamble. But what can you do? At least we've got a nice amount of 2Ks in hand. And Rayleigh is good. Rayleigh will be good once we eventually get to him. But being on the odd curve does make it a little bit more tricky. Does have the Giga combo for next turn, has the Luffy and the Sanji. Well, we've got a Roux. That is nice. Do I want to play Hongo? Not really. I think we'll just slam in for 8. As there's not much to say, and then we'll pass. He's going to play out the Luffy, play out the Sanji, and then he can use his leader effect. You can buff up Shaki, swing 5/5, but may as well just swing 6 with the leader, to be honest. So I guess he probably actually won't use his leader effect this turn. Shows us double unblockable. Okie dokie. Sanji, very nice. We've got this for next turn. We're going to be taking a swing next turn. Currently, we don't have anything better than the Law, so I'm actually going to go cancel and then give him a 2K on this one. We'll give up one of the Hongos. Yeah, we're going to be taking at least one swing next turn. Yeah, let's swing 6. Start with a simple 6. See what he wants to do that. He's going to take again. Makes sense. Then we'll play the Lucky Roux and pass. So whichever one of these characters swings first, we get to blow up the other one. It would be really nice if we could see a Ben Beckman on the next turn. That would just be so good. Law is okay, but he's not amazing, right? He doesn't care anything straight away. But if our opponent doesn't get a second Luffy here, we are in a pretty decent spot, I would say. Because we're going to be able to remove one. We can hopefully remove the other one by battle. Maybe. That might be a big ask, but we'll see. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Observation Haki off the Shaki. We know he has a lot of those unblockables in his hand as well. See what he's looking at here. If he doesn't have the Luffy, probably just going to see 2 large swings, of which I suppose one will be blocked and one will be taken. There's another Luffy though, okay. That's pretty good. Yeah, here it comes. This guy is drawn very well. Double Luffy. What's he going to play out? Another Sandy, probably, if he has one. This is a really good draw for him. Really good set of draws. Although I will say that we now get to blow another Luffy. Oh my god, this is terrifying. This is terrifying. So if we want to reduce the number of hits by 1, we can take this out. I think I actually just want to take this out, though, because we can remove this by battle regardless, right? This is going to swing 8. This is going to swing 7. We can take the 8. We could block the 8. We're going to take 1 and counter 1. Yeah, I think we counter this 7, take this 8, and as well we can just block this 6, I guess. It doesn't really matter. Because I don't want him to use leader effect 1k and then counter with this Law, because Because it's our only play for next turn, currently. So I'm going to go cancel. We could just negate it. And then we don't have to cancel. But then we're dealing with 2 of these Luffys, and these Luffys are very annoying. I'm going to blow up this Luffy. They're just hard to attack into, right, at 6k. Very hard. Yeah, this is going to swing for 8. That's very large. Yeah, we'll just take that one. That's not a great draw. Yeah, I can't really afford to take again, I don't think. We'll give another Hongo. Oh, great draw off the top there. Really, really good draw off the top there. 5 to Sanji, see if he wants to defend this. Will be 2 cards if he does. Doesn't. And then we'll just get rid of this. Great, that was an incredible draw. When we hadn't seen one yet, right? But, yeah, still very, very lucky there to draw the Ben Beckman. We've now cleared, like, his entire board, and we're still at 4 life, which is great. We've got a Rayleigh for next turn. 2 Luffys are down. We know he has another Luffy in hand, though. So that's something we've got to be pretty careful of. But we've also got a little bit of counter. There's the 3rd Luffy. Okay, double unblockable. Shows us again. What a surprise. Into this Luffy. Okay, he's fine. Could have a mole pistol to remove our Ben. Yeah, this is looking like mole pistol, I think. I don't know how big this is going to be. So I'm going to use leader effect 1k here, and then we'll just take the leader swing. I suppose this could also be a rush unit, couldn't it? This could be like a Zoro. But I'm not too worried about a Zoro. Koby's okay. It is a mole pistol. I thought he might. And then this, yeah. Okay, well, as much as Koby is obviously a very good card, I think this turn we want Rayleigh to continue to just deal with this board. The fact that he's only got max 1 Luffy left in his deck is obviously very good. I'm going to swing 6. Still, though. And then we'll go -3, -2 KO. And just deal with this Luffy. And then next turn, we may be looking at Koby plus Shanks to get a bit of, sort of, a board set up. I imagine he'll counter this 6. Yeah, I thought he might. -3, -2, KO. Pass it over. That's 3 Luffys gone. How many more Luffys can this man have? Well, the answer is 1. Right? The answer is 1. But he does also have Rush as an option. This is currently at 1k. Obviously, it can give itself 2 rested Dons, which will make it up to 3 at base. But with the leader buff, it can go to 5. But that still means he needs more like buffs to make this a useful card, right? So we've got options next turn. We've also got the 9-cost Shanks. If he does go really wide, I'm sort of imagining he's going to go tall at this point. But if he does go wide, then... Okay, so that's a 6. This could be like 4 for Kid Killer. I think we have to cancel this one. I'm just going to give a Otama. Yeah. If he goes wide, 9-cost Shanks is very good next turn. Does look like he's going wide. If he wants to put 2 Dons here, this can swing 5. And then he could do Kid Killer. Or you can put like 4 Dons here, swing 7. Hold some for Conk, maybe. I think we take this one. Another 2k is great, though. I don't want to go too low in hand size, right? I don't want to go too low, because then that makes our 9-cost Shanks play just kind of bad. Okay, so he can still swing 5 with this. Then he'll have no Conqueror's Harkies open. Is that right? Yeah, if he puts the 2 Dons here and uses the effect, it swings 5. I don't know if he's going to want to do that, though, so I'm just going to give the Koby. Okay, he does want to do that. Tricky. We'll be able to clear both of these. If we clear both of these and go to 7, it's not too bad. I think I'll take. We do know he still has the single unblockable, though, right? He could still have double unblockable. It's possible. Neither of these are strike, right? Yeah, no, they're both slash. Both slash. And that said, do we want to actually deal with them, or do we want to push life? Could go with the blockers. The blockers is another reasonable play. Could go bang, bang. My original plan was to go big here and then use this as defense. Do have a couple 2Ks still. You know, he has one unblockable. If he has double unblockables, we're going to need... He can just do 15-15, which we don't really have a good answer for. If we go big, he definitely doesn't use an unblockable. I think we do go big. I think we do go big. I think we go big and we ignore board. I think I want to go big and ignore board. Try and win in 2 turns here. I suppose if he counters this, then... he doesn't counter this. And let's just swing once more at face. So we're at 7. He's going to have some pretty good aggression this turn. But the fact that, like, this buggy sort of can't attack. It needs 2 dons to swing 7 and leader effect. This Shaki definitely can't attack. And both the Zoro and the Luffy also need some kind of buff to attack themselves. Because they're 5k base. So it's kind of awkward. And if he does just go in big, we've got a chance to kill him next turn. If he just does go, like, big with leader. Or anything like that. So we'll see. The ball's in his court, but we've got a decent shot at lethal next turn with 3 swingers. Never guaranteed, though, because, I mean, you know what Rayleigh's like. The Congress Archy's crazy. Crazy strong card. The fact it hits leaders as well. There's not many cards that sort of act like that. Mulgun, unblockable. Sure. Who's getting buffed? I guess... I don't know, actually. Who is he buffing? Because this can't get rested dons just yet. This is very small. It is the Luffy. That makes sense. He needs to play something first, though. If he wants to give the rested dons. Which I imagine he will. Good to know he's got a mole gun, though. That is a brick. We knew about this one from ages ago. We did. It's just going to come down to potentially how many conks did he have. What did he take off the buggy? It was the mole gun he took off the buggy. Yeah. So this is swinging 8. I expect we can expect this to swing 8. I think we will 2k this one. With the Otama. He could mulligan and go after our Rayleigh, I suppose. That is something he could do. That could be a pretty decent play, but then he's not pressuring our life, so it's not the end of the world, right? And we can block her up next turn. Go with the Roux plus the Roux, the Shanks plus the Roux plus the Shanks. We've got many combinations. This one's probably the best. Because if we can stay at 1 here, he can't kill us next turn with unblockable. So if we can stay at 1, the blockers are fine. If we go to 0, different story, obviously. We have to go for game. Does go for the Mulgun. He is going to regress the Rayleigh. Okay. So what's he currently threatening? This is currently at 7. And this is currently at 8. He can swing 10 with this. I don't think he'll want to. He's going to leave at least 1 don open. So I think the most he's swinging with this is 9. So I think we actually let this go. I think we do let this go. Because he's going to be able to get rid of that anyway. You can attack it with the Shaki. You can attack it with the leader. You can attack it with everything. It's fine. So this is 8. And then this is going to be... This is not going to be 7. This is straight up not going to be 7. There's simply no way. Because then he has no dons open, and we might... if he's done the math, though. I think I'll just take the easy way out and counter this with the 2k. Yeah. Cancel 2k. Because then even if this is 7, obviously we can negate. So this turn we're definitely going with double blockers. We've got lots of different ones. I probably... Okay, you guys go with the Shaki. Nice. So did use the Mulgun. We know he still has the unblockable. That's the... I believe that's the only card we know. Armament Haki, neither here nor there. Another Roux. These ones are very vulnerable to Mulgun. Although to be fair, they literally all are, so... It is kind of whatever. I think I'm going to swing 10 leader here to start with. It'll be very interesting to see if he takes this or not. It does. He can definitely counter that. So he's clearly done the math and knows that he doesn't die. This could be Divine Departure. So I'm only going to swing 6. Do we want to take out one of these at this point? We can't take out this because it's slash. We could try and aggress the Luffy. I think I will do one swing into the Luffy. So he can clearly counter a 15 if he's willing to take that 10. Because we know he has the unblockable. We know he has the armament haki. That's 4k. There's no way his other 5 cards were less than like 2k. It's Rayleigh. There's just no way. So we can't go for lethal. Which is fine. So we might as well attack the 3. Because if he wants to save this, then he gives us more counter, right? If we attack leader, he just gives us 2k. If he wants to save this, he's got to give us 4k. And the clock is ticking, right? The clock is ticking. He's kind of got to go for it this turn, I think. Does go with the conk, burns that. So yeah, there you go. We probably wouldn't have won with him having 2k, 2k, 3k, 1k. Already, that's what, 8, 9k counter. Yeah, you only needed like another 2k to get out of a 15. And then now it comes down to what blockers we playing. We're definitely playing this one. How many 2ks have we seen? We've seen quite a lot. We have seen quite a lot. This gives us, if we go with these, it gives us 2k, 1k in hand. If we go with this, but this also blows up a unit, of course. If we go with this one, it gives us more cards. But those cards could easily be bricks, because we've only seen 1, 2 bricks so far. Is 2k, 1k enough? If he, say he starts by swinging like 6 with the Luffy, we can block and blow up the Zoro. Or vice versa. Then he has 2 swings, but we have 1 blocker. How many Mulguns he uses? It's both. They're usually only on 2 Mulguns. Obviously, these Shakis can attack. That's where the 1k and the 2k come in. It's tricky, man. Because we can only go with this if we don't play this as well, right? Because it's only 6,000 power unit. I'm going with these. I'm going with these 2, and I'm going to leave the wand on up just in case this last life is like a DD. You never know. You never know. This has been a tricky game, though. Shout out to this guy. He's played very well. Played very well. Goes with the boa. Are you not going for it? I guess this is free, right? Yeah, I guess this is free. You get the 2 dons anyway. In fact, it gives him slightly more versatility, right? Because this Luffy now can take the rest of the dons. And he can also have Rush in hand as well, right? And so all sorts of different things he can have here. It's going to be a very tricky lethal for both of us here. It just takes a conk. Not sure what he was looking for, but probably not that one. Okay, this gets... Okay. Yeah, we're not using that. We're not using that. I'm going to block Resolve and then block the Luffy, because the Luffy's a 5k base. Because once you play something and give him the dons, right? We've got to do that first. And we've just got to be really, really careful, because we can't go to 0 before using this blocker. Because of the unblockable. Unless he uses enough dons that we know we can counter it. There's the unblockable and the unharky. Okay, buffs up Buggy, of course. And we do know he has one of these to pump by 1k as well, actually. That's worth noting. 8. So I think what we do here is debuff the leader and then block. So we no need to use this. We use this, debuff the leader, block, resolve. I think that's good. Okay, got 2 pump spells. How many more pump spells? Okay, that is a lot of pump spells. Holy. 6. We can counter this. How big's this? This is at 6. Yeah, this is at 6. It can be at... It can easily be at 7. Can be at 8. You have to counter this one. He can't take this out anyway. That should be the game. 3 pump spells there got a little scary. I wasn't expecting him to have 3 of them. But, hey, what can you do, right? Yeah, it's kind of crazy. I think he played that endgame well, though. I think those were the right blockers. I don't play that many bricks. I don't know what to say. I don't play too many. But yeah, we did draw very low on bricks. We did draw very few bricks. Got some good draws there. Last draw was an Uta. Okay. So yeah, well played to our opponent. That was a tough game. He drew very well. Got 3 Luffys, one after the other. We top decked that Ben Beckman. That top deck on that Ben Beckman like saved this game so much. That was such a good draw. But we were on odds. We were on the bag curve, right? I'll take that one. And like he said, we did get a little bit lucky with only one brick. But now we drew 3, right? We drew 3. I mean, it's still not that many. But yeah, we drew the 9-cost Shanks, the 4-cost Shanks, and the Rayleigh. But anyway, well played to our opponent. He played super well, and let's move on. More yellow decks. Got to get into Katakuri now. He's chosen 2nd. I love Ben Beckman in this matchup. I do love Ben. It's really good for dealing with like Hawkins and Kiku. I think we can keep this one. Let's go with the Uta. Hopefully we'll get some kind of 4-cost drop on 5. Well, those Kobys would have been lovely, but at least we can take something. We can take Lucky Roux. He's fine. I don't mind Lucky Roux. He's got the pudding. Next time we can go 5-5 at the very least. I don't really value getting the Hongo out that much. That's a nice grab. That can combine with the Hongo quite nicely, though. You know? It does show us the Kata. Maybe this Hongo is worth playing down. I think now that we have the Pop Shanks, I actually quite like it. Let's go 5 Hongo. Obviously, he can remove it with, like, the Egghead Nami. But they're not always playing like that card, right? They're always playing it, but they're not always wanting to deploy it immediately. Especially, like, to kill Hongo. It's kind of low value. There's Pero. We will take the 7. That's fine. Lucky Roux. Could play that one. He's quite good as well. We've got some good options here, you know? Got some good options. I'm going to start by swinging 6, because we're never doing anything other than that. If we'd been playing Marco, this would have been a brilliant turn. We could get rid of the Pero. I think I'll go with this Lucky Roux, because he can just get us a nice trade. On something like the Pero. Or if our opponent plays out like a Kikunojo, something like that. Again, we can get nice trades. It's pretty good. And we'll see what he wants to play here for 6. I would have preferred the Shanks blocker. We don't have the Shanks blocker. What am I going to do? You know? But having this Hongo down to combine over the next couple of turns with a Ben Beckman and then a Shanks is going to be really useful. I wouldn't even mind keeping this Lucky Roux. I don't mind it. Just have like something to defend the Hongo. 6. So this is likely going to be 4 for either Kiku or Hawkins. And then 7. Obviously, we're not defending both. I think I'll use the leader effect and then give a 1k in the Lucky Roux. And then I'll take this 7. Because there's no way this is 5. Yeah, 5 Nami would have been a crazy play there. He's looked at his own, left it at the top. If we do... if we do take this, though... If that's a good trigger, we are opening ourselves up to that. Potentially coming down. I think it's okay. I think I'll risk it. Then this is 4 for Hawkins or Kiku, right? One or the other. I don't know which. Yeah, it's Kiku, sure. That's a nice target for Mr. Beckman. I think I'm not going to activate this trigger. I'm going to just attack the Perospero. If he wants to let it go, that's fine. He does defend, though. Do you want to attack it again with Roux? I don't think I'm likely to block with Roux this turn, so I don't mind attacking again. And then we'll just bend the Kiku. Sure. Nice. 8 Don, he showed us that Katakuri earlier. Yeah, it does just play that. Likely, yeah, it does get rid of the Ben. That's fine, though. We'll leader effect one of these, and then we'll 1k out of the other. Actually, we're going to have to 2k out of the other. Oh, he goes for this. I think I'll keep it, because if we can clear this, and maybe even the Perospero, and then leave the tapped Hongo behind the Roux, we can save the Hongo to combo with a Big Mum next turn. So I'm going to save this by giving up the Hongo. Could have maybe took that 5. Maybe took, but yeah, I don't know. Maybe could have took that first 5. Regardless, let's go 7 to Perospero. And then we'll Hongo... Oh, we could Rayleigh. Rayleigh's better, right? It's just a bigger character. Ben's a 1k. And he's got the trash effect. Yeah, and then we get to attack life as well. Because this just KOs. Oh no, this is going to KO the Katakuri. Sorry. This is going to KO the Katakuri. So we're still attacking the Perospero. But, yeah, anyway, let's tap the Hongo first. Then we'll go Rayleigh. -3, -2, KO. Then I'm going to attack the Perospero with the Uta, because we can. We may as well. We know that next turn he's just going to be doing 5 Big Mum. Or I assume he's going to be doing 5 Big Mum. That's his optimal play. And then we'll do 5 leader. Is this a Kiku Nitro trigger? It's a Brule 2k trigger, sure. But he did move on to the bottom, so probably a beige. And I'm going to leave Roux upright. Yeah, you can have that. You can have that. Because it's going to be 5 into Hongo, and we're just going to go block. We're going to go leader effect, sorry, that's first, and then block, resolve. Because then this is 10 Mum. Yeah, indeed. Trash is our law, it's a good card, but it is what it is. We'll give -2 to this. Get rid of it. Then we'll go 5. Do you want to attack with Roux this turn? If he does another Big Mum, we don't actually have the way to get rid of it this time. I think keeping the Hongo around could still be good, though. It could still be good. Go to 8. And then pass. But we've cleared his first Big Mum. Okay, there's the second one. I am the best! I'm simply the best. I'm built different. That is hilarious. The top deck of the year, bro. Okay, we are in a really good position here. So good. The third one. Incredible work. Bro, what is this game? This game is wild. I think we just replace the Hongo now. We'll play the Nightcross Shanks over the top of it. Let me do some maths. This could be 13, 14, right? Yeah, 13, 13, sorry, 13, 15. So we've got one blocker. So if he wants to KO this, his best option is like Zeus. So we can do 12, 14 with that. If we go to 7, we can obviously go to... I think playing both of these is pretty good. We'd have to play over one of these, which kind of sucks. Maybe we just play the Shanks. Have double blockers. That could be reasonable. We've got 3k here. We've got 3k, 4k, 5k, 6k, 7k. That goes to 12. If he's clearing both blockers, yeah, we're fine with that. So we'll just play the Shanks over the Hongo. And if he gets a trigger on the Roux, that could be problematic. That could be problematic. We could remove this with Hongo DD. I'm just going to start with 8. Okay. We know this last one he moved to the bottom, which is why I don't want to just like stop attacking, because I feel like this last one is probably either a 0 cost or a beige. I don't think it would be a KO trigger, the last one. It's going to be a 0 cost or a beige. 0 cost. Okay, indeed. Do we want to attack again? Let's just get a card out of him. He takes. Just a Hawkins trigger, thank God. I'm very surprised he took that there. I'm obviously not going to swing 15. I will swing a bit with the Hongo, though. Swing 8 with the Hongo. Play the Shanks over the Hongo. Yeah. No, I'm not risking it. I'm not risking it. He also can't Zeus now, which is quite nice. Yeah. Yeah, took that last live take was crazy. Taking that 5, like, I guess maybe he was like, my only way to win is a trigger. But hey, that was a very, very funny game. Shout out Hongo, the absolute GOAT. Incredible work. Gotta get him to Pudding. He's chosen first. I think I'm really looking for Law in this matchup, so I'm going to mulligan for Law. We don't get Law. At least we've got Koby. He can potentially draw us some cards, which is nice. So, Pudding going first, obviously very, very scary. 10 Mum is the best card in the deck, like by a mile. So we need to stop him getting to that. So on the next turn, we're not going to attack, right? That's always the classic strategy into Pudding. You have that one turn where you just don't attack. It is what it is. They get an extra life, but it stops them getting to 10 Mum one turn earlier. And really, that is the card that we're most scared of. Of course, all the Katakuris, very good too. Interesting that he's on Stroizen. That doesn't seem very good. Anyway, but it is, for Shanks at least, it's the 10 Mum. The 10 Mum is terrifying. Really, really good card. So I expect we'll see any other searches that he has, and then just a big swing in, and flip those life. Unless he's got anything too crazy. Maybe he's playing like the 3-cost Brûlée. If he's playing that, I think we just attack. At that point, there's no point. But he's not. He's playing another 1-cost Pudding. That can actually combo with the Stroizen. There's the 6 cat. Okay, so we know he's got the Giga combo. Do I want to counter this for just a 2k? Next turn, he's going to be on 6. He's going to swing in for 6. So we might as well just counter next turn. Let's just take this one. We'll counter next turn with a 1k there. Probably the Koby. Probably the Koby. But we will have to counter next turn. So that on the following turn, our Koby can actually draw a card. And we really want to draw that Law. The Law is so good in this matchup. It really turns the tables. So it puts all their, like, 8 cats and things into the range of, like, Ben Beckman. And it also puts their 10 Mum into the range of Pop Shanks, notably. Which, both very important factors. Our opponent giving it a big think. I don't know what there is to think about. You've done your attack. Pass the turn, please, brother. That'd be lovely, indeed. Oh, and we do get the Law. Incredible. So, like I say, here, we're not going to attack. Because if we attack, he can double ramp very easily with the 6 cat. And then on the following turn, he will have 10. And we're not kitted to deal with 10 Mum anytime soon. So we're just going to play the Koby and pass. You got to play patiently into pudding. If you attack there, yeah, we're in a whole host of danger, because he goes directly from 6 cat to 10 mum. We need him to go from 6 cat to 8 cat, because after he plays the 6 cat, we're going to play the law. And then this can combine with, hopefully, a Ben Beckman or a Rayleigh to deal with his 8 cat. And then, in an ideal world, a Pop Shanks to deal with his big Shanks, to deal with his big mum. Is it going to work out like that? Well, currently no, with the current hand, but, you know, we'll just have to see what we can get. This Koby popping, like, these puddings is actually quite cute as well. Or if he plays any chump blockers, things like Ananana. We're going to use the card action, bring him down to 5. And then we'll toss a Koby. Never going to get a chance to play another one of these. The Shanks is okay. It's not really the card I'm looking for. But it is what it is. We have to play this first. Because otherwise the Koby doesn't get the draw. We'll attack in. I think I'm going to prioritise carrying the one with power first. Another 4 Shanks is, again, not really what I was looking for, but it is what it is. A card is not bad nonetheless. This Cat is going to get to live, though, which is a little bit scary. Then we'll pass it over. Yeah, the Cat gets to live, and it will probably try and pressure our Koby. So, we'll see what happens next turn. But we may end up playing the Divine Departure on whatever Katakuri he plays out. And then attacking these into this purple Katakuri. And I will defend the Koby if it's not too difficult. Because he draws cards, right? If we give up 2, maybe even 3 cards to defend this guy. But then he draws us another one. And then maybe another one. I mean, the value adds up, right? Opponent doesn't have too many lives. This 2 cat is not live yet. Did take one of those. Second life is a pudding. 5. 5 here. We'll keep it simple with that one. Just give him the old 1k from the leader effect. You may as well when it's free, right? You may as well. We do see 8. I think I will counter this. Like I say, we're giving 2 cards here, but this is going to draw us at least 1 more card. And this is probably going to be some kind of Katakuri. Okay, he's going to remove the Koby anyway. That makes me feel a little bad. But what can you do? And here, you see what I mean? Like, if this was a... Sorry, but what am I talking about? If we had like a Ben Beckman in hand, this would be such a good turn. Such a good turn. Because we could remove potentially both of these. Likely not, but... Anyway, I think we're going to Divine Departure. So we'll go 7 to 5. We'll DD this. See if he wants to defend this Katakuri. I suspect potentially not. Because you're going to have to defend it from 2 7-on-5s if he wants to. But being able to keep the board clear is actually quite nice. Because even if he 10 mums next turn, that's all he's doing. That is all he's doing. And he's not going to do that anyway. So let's just hit him for a 7. Now we don't have anything else to do with that done. And then we will Divine Departure this Katakuri. And we've got a law on the board. He's likely going to play a big mum this turn. It is what it is. There's not a lot we can do about that. But, like I say, he's only going to get to swing 5, which is cool. If we had a Pop Shanks, no big mum. Okay, I'll take that. No big mum at all. Happy days. 8 cat. I mean, I may as well use the card action. Is he going to swing 8 into this? That will unfortunately go through, I suppose. Maybe we should have let him just life it. Actually, thinking about it, that might... Yeah, we should have let him life this. Yeah, that was a mistake. I should have let him life this, because then we'd have had just like an extra card for a laugh. I think keeping it simple here, we are just going to play the 10 Shanks. Yeah, I should have let him put that in life. That was a mistake. Because then we could have took the 8. But alas, it is what it is. We'll go with this, get some nice defense going. 12 and 5. Cool. The fact that he's not playing any purple ones is interesting. I'm much sort of more kitted to deal with the purple ones than the yellow ones. Because the removal's obviously just pretty annoying, right? We'll use that, and then we'll take the 7 here, I think. This obviously can't swim, which is cool. Okay, another law. Rayleigh. This is not perfect. This is not perfect by any means. We can obviously remove this with the swing if we really want to. I'm tempted to just play a couple blockers here. I really am. We could go with the Roux blocker, get some cycle, and the Shanks blocker. Could be okay. I think I'm going to go 7. She'll probably defend this. Maybe we look to get the... Just give us a 0 cost and a purple cat. So he had the purple cats. He just was preferring the yellow one. That's fair. That is fair. So we can either clear this or we can do the damage. I think I actually prefer clearing this. Is that true? Yeah, I think it is. We need to slow down his aggression. Let's go with this. I'm going to get rid of... I think these Shanks are actually going to be pretty good. I might get rid of the law at this point. Wow, that is dreadful. That is horrific. Not at all what I wanted. Another Rayleigh in a... Okay, at least he doesn't have the 10-mum chain. That's nice. At least he doesn't have that. Yeah, this is a tricky matchup, don't get me wrong. Pudding is a tough matchup for Shanks to deal with. If we'd been able to keep that law and, like, draw some more removal, it'd be much better, obviously. If we had the Ben Beckman... okay, I mean, that's a pretty good draw. That sucks. That genuinely really sucks. So we can do 14 here. Oh, that's actually dreadful. We don't have 2k, 1k. I have to take this. Because otherwise we just lose the Shanks if he swings 14. That's horrible though, man. That is horrible. We're not in a good spot here. That Hakai that's a crazy top deck. That's a crazy top deck. So now we can only do 12. So I think we are good to counter this one. Use this and give him a 1k. Or give the Koby. That's definitely the worst of them. That Hakai was very good. Yeah, we'll take that. And then Alana. Okay. Shanks is probably the play here. Go to 7. Just to at least make these pretty expensive. And I'll play a blocker. I'll play the Shanks blocker. I think that is the angle. Yeah. We've got to ignore this. So let's do this. We'll swing him for 7. See if he's got 2k, 1k still. And then we've got to play the blocker. Oh, he has the Stroizen, doesn't he? He still has the Stroizen. I think he does. Yeah, he still has that Stroizen. That rests a 4, right? It does rest a 4. At least costs him 3 Don, but that can rest our Shanks blocker. If we were at 7, he'd remaining have 7. It's like 11, 12. We can go to 9, go to 10, go to 12 with the effect. We're okay. We don't die. Let's just destroy the Anna almost certainly. Indeed. And then we'll go with the blocker and pass. So we should be okay here to counter both of these, even if he plays the Stroizen. If he does go with the Stroizen, that's of course very all in. That is his lot. And we're good to counter the 12, so we can take the 11. If he swings 11, that's a funny meme. That's a funny little 5 into 7 there. A little bit of a blunder. So if he plays 10-mum here, right? He trashes our life. We can counter the Stroizen plus Pudding play easily. We can take this. We should take this. We definitely should take this. He can still play lots of blockers, though. There's all sorts of stuff. He's stupid. Oh, fair enough. Okay, if that was his play, then... Yeah, we should just have the win here, right? Let's go... He can still get triggers, right? He can still get triggers. Start with 9. Well, if you're going to take that, that's pretty good for me. Let's go 11. Yeah, I mean, you should have done this the other way, but we can counter the 11 anyway. That's no big deal. That missed sequence didn't actually matter there. I was thinking he was going to go for the Stroizen play. but 1k power down, which would have still been a mistake. But he didn't do that. Okay, does counter 2k, 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 1k. We still know he has at least one 2k. We can't really play around triggers anymore. I think we go 10, 13. If we go 11, no, 11, 12, we need him to have all 2Ks. We've got to just go for it. If he gets a Bedge trigger last life or a zero cost, it is what it is. Cool. That should be GG's. That was close. That was 3 2Ks. Yeah, if we'd have swung 10 there, and that Cattle was the last life, we'd have actually lost. I don't think his miss sequence there with the 10 Lin at the end definitely didn't matter. And we had the other play accounted for as well. With the 11 from Lin, play out Streusen, use this effect, call it, rest the Shanks, and then swing in for 12. We still had enough counter for that. Between the leader buff, the Shanks effect, and the 1 2k and a few 1ks we had in hand. I'm pleased with that one. Pleased to get a win into Pudding. The draws in the early game were very good. I did also make that misplay with the Law. We should have had 1 card more in hand, which wouldn't have really mattered, but would have been nice nonetheless. Either way, well played to our opponent, and let's move on. So thank you for watching. Let me know, what did you think? What do you think of the build? What do you think of the deck? What are you going to be changing in PRB? This is likely the last set for a while. I think our boy is going to be relevant. He certainly looks dreadful in OP13, which is a real shame. Because, I mean, you know I love the deck. It's good fun. It's very sort of honest. Shanks isn't doing anything too broken. He's very honest. But in OP13, that's just not good enough. Emu, you just can't remove anything. So then you'd want to be playing like a rush build. So maybe there's room for a rush build. And I will probably at least try him once on the channel in OP13. I'm just not seeing it. Ace just kind of plays bigger guys than us faster. Roger plays bigger guys than us faster. Zoro's always been like a slightly tricky matchup for us. Certainly winnable. Not super unfavored. I think it's pretty close, honestly. Zoro versus Shanks. So that should be fine. But they do get more aggressive, so who knows. But either way, I think this is likely to be the best set for our boy in a while. So enjoy him while you can. And I probably will have at least one more video during PRB on Shanks. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have a lovely rest of your day.